Things are getting ready to get pretty crazy. An upcoming tornado outbreak is about to occur, driving all types of severe weather, including powerful tornadoes, large hail, and extreme damaging winds likely up to hurricane force. The second phase of this nasty storm system will bring heavy snow and ice to the central and northern U.S. We are in red alert mode, and we are going to give you all the latest information you need to know to stay safe. Alrighty guys, so we're taking a look here at the models to start off the video. We're taking a look here at the NAM model. This is an American model. So first up, we're taking a look here at the instability in the atmosphere. This is basically just simply your thunderstorm's fuel that's required for thunderstorms to form. Time is in the bottom right-hand corner if you guys want to follow along. So as we do track down here in time, we will notice that all of the instability starts to kind of build in here across bits of the central and southern plains here, basically across bits of Oklahoma. This is where thunderstorms are going to start firing off here for the later portion of tonight into tomorrow morning. Now we will see all this instability track its way here to the east as it rides along this cold front. Okay, so we have enough instability in the atmosphere to allow for thunderstorms to form. Now we're taking a look here at the winds to see if these storms will be rotating. So we're taking a look here at the middle portions of the atmosphere, kind of cutting right here in the middle. So we are seeing the winds that are moving their way here to the northeast. We'll go ahead and draw our line here to the northeast as we see our little wind barbs moving in that general direction. So we do have some northeasterlies at the mid-levels of the atmosphere. So now let's look at the same thing only at the lower portion of the atmosphere, and we'll go ahead and see what we're dealing with. Okay, so as we saw in the mid-levels of the atmosphere, we have our northeasterlies, but that's actually a different story here towards the surface. We're actually seeing the winds here kind of blow to the north-northeast. We got a lower level jet in place, which is basically showing that as we go up in the atmosphere, we are seeing the winds blow from the north to the northeast, which is allowing for spin to kick off in the atmosphere with any thunderstorm that develops, giving the chance of maybe some tornadoes. Okay, so like I said, we have enough instability in the atmosphere to allow for thunderstorms, and we have enough wind shear to allow for rotation. So there's one more ingredient we need to look at here, and this is your moisture at the surface. We measured this in dew points. So if you have your dew points here in the 50s and 60s, this is supportive for severe weather, and unfortunately, this does include tornadoes. So as we track here through time, you will notice that we get a lot of advection, a lot of this warm and moisture-filled air driving its way here to the north from the Gulf of Mexico, filling it with warm and moisture-filled air. Now, we are seeing all this advection going on, and we are seeing those dew points here in the 50s and 60s, which is showing that we have enough moisture at the lower levels to allow for thunderstorms and, unfortunately, tornadic cells to pop off. Now, we can see this cold front progress its way here to the east as we get all this cold air backing behind the system, which we are seeing a lot of thunderstorms firing off right ahead of this cold front. Okay, so like I said, we have enough instability, we have enough shear, as well as enough moisture at the surface to allow for thunderstorms, and, unfortunately, this does include tornadoes. So, this is what we are looking out for. Alright guys, so now we're taking a look here at the future radar in regard to your NAM 3-kilometer model. So once again guys, time is in the bottom right hand corner if you guys want to follow along. So like I was saying, as we get all this Gulf advection, we'll see all of this moisture drive its way down here into the southeast with that new area of low pressure kind of developing across the central and southern plains here. So as the cold air starts to fall down on the top of this system, this will actually allow for it to transition from rain into snow and sleet, allowing for a lot of heavy ice accumulations as well as some heavy snow to fall across bits of the central plains into the Midwest, maybe in the areas here of St. Louis, maybe even seeing some ice here. We'll get to the accumulations here in a little bit. Okay, so now we're moving here to the southeast, because as we see this cold front advance, we'll see all the storms start to fire off as well, driving a lot of severe potential. Like I said, tornadoes, hail, and damaging winds being a concern here. Let's go ahead and take a look here at the Storm Prediction Center, and let's see what kind of risk we're dealing with. Alrighty guys, so we're taking a look here at the risk here for tomorrow, and we have a large area here to cover. Now, if you guys are in the dark green, as well as especially the yellow and orange, you really need to monitor the weather for tomorrow because we are expecting a lot of craziness to occur. Now, the areas here in orange, this does include the major cities here of Memphis, Nashville, Jackson, as well as Huntsville. Here inside the yellow zone, across bits of the region here, a relatively large area. This does include the major cities of Louisville, Kentucky, Lexington, Birmingham, Shreveport, as well as Little Rock, Arkansas. And then we have this big old margin of risk here across bits of a lot of the country here. I mean, really covering a lot of ground here. This does include the major cities here of Columbus, Ohio, Charlotte, North Carolina, New Orleans, as well as Atlanta, Georgia, and Raleigh, North Carolina. So all of these areas here are the areas we are expecting the possibility of severe weather. Now for tornadoes, the National Weather Service has actually gone pretty bold on this one, showing a 10% significant risk, basically showing we have a 10% chance of seeing tornadoes EF2 to EF5. The overall tornado threat stretches all the way down to the southeast, across bits of the southern Midwest, and into bits of the Ohio Valley. Now, in regard to damaging winds, we do have a large threat of damaging winds, likely seeing wind gusts, maybe even over hurricane force here. We have a 30% chance across the red, 15% chance across the yellow, as well as a 5% chance across the brown. And like I said, this is a triple threat, so we have the chance for hail as well, although quite low at a minimal 5%. Alrighty guys, so now we're moving on here to the overall models in regard to things. First up, we're taking a look here at the American model. This is known as your GFS. So as we do track down here in time, we'll get this new area of low pressure developing across the plains, starting to kick off some severe weather across bits of the southern plains into the southeast, delivering a lot of heavy ice and snow across the central plains into the Midwest, the Ohio Valley as well, tracking its way here to the northeast. Now, the latest models have been showing the possibility of maybe some ice impacting the northern portions of the northeast. We need to continue monitoring this. Now, in regard to snowfall accumulation out of this model, things have been cut down quite a bit compared to what we have been seeing here. Overall, so we are expecting a decent amount of snow. Across these light blue shaded areas here, we are expecting 1 to 3 inches, 3 to 5 across the dark blue, as well as kind of this, almost pink shaded color, pink and purple. We are kind of expecting maybe the possibility of 6 to 10 inches, with locally higher amounts definitely being possible. So the areas here likely to see some snow does include bits of the central plains into the Midwest, as well as bits of the Ohio Valley, and this model actually does support maybe a little bit of snowfall across the upper northeast. Now, in regard to your European model, things have also changed quite a bit here. We actually have a better idea in terms of track here. We are expecting, like I said, 1 to 3 inches across the light blue, 3 to 5 across the dark blue, as well as 6 to 10 kind of across these pink shaded areas here. Although this model is a little bit less aggressive in terms of things, maybe showing a little bit less snow, but we are still seeing the same factor that we might actually see maybe a little bit of snowfall accumulation across the upper northeast. Okay, so now we're moving here back to the future radar in regard to timing of both your severe weather and your winter weather side of things. So as we do track down here in time, we get all of this moisture starts being kicked up here from the southeast. We get some of that severe weather starting to occur across bits of the central and southern plains. All the snow starts to move its way across the central portions of the plains into the Midwest here, kind of for around 2 o'clock p.m. here for tomorrow. Now this will continue to track its way here up to the northeast, delivering some snow across the Ohio Valley, as well as, probably even this threat for some ice as well across the region as this cold front continues to deliver some thunderstorms across the southeast, potentially getting pretty severe. Now we are going to continue seeing this thing track its way here to the northeast, delivering a lot more heavy snow as well as all types of severe weather. Alright guys, so now we're moving on here to the National Weather Service hazards in regard to your current warnings, watches, and advisories, and as you can see, there is a lot of events going on here across the state. So across this green shaded area here, all the way from the Midwest into the Northeast, we actually do have some flood watches, basically showing that flooding conditions are possible down the line, so stay tuned as flood warnings might be needed. Now across the pink shaded area here, this does include the states of Missouri as well as bits of Illinois. This is winter storm warning, showing that we are expecting heavy impacts of winter weather to occur. Winter storm watch is in effect across this kind of blue shaded color here for the central plains as well as bits of the upper portions of the Ohio Valley, showing that the further down the line we might need some winter storm warnings, so stay tuned because significant winter weather might be on the way. We have some winter weather advisories across the purple shaded area here, basically showing that some impacts of winter weather is expected, although not extremely strong enough to be issued for a winter storm warning. So across the pink shaded area here, we do have some red flag warnings in effect, basically showing that we do have the threat of some wildfires to occur, just to alert our firefighters that fire weather might break out. Now, across a lot of these areas here in the tan, we have some wind advisories showing that we are expecting some gusty winds to occur due to all that advection we have going on, as well as the system tracking its way here to the northeast. We have some high wind warnings in effect across the western side here of Texas, as well as southern New Mexico, with a high wind watch in effect across the central portion here of northern portions of North Dakota. And that just about covers the states. But anyways, guys, that's going to wrap up the update for today's video. If you guys did enjoy it, make sure you leave a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. We will be doing a live stream here for tonight and tomorrow to cover all the severe weather we are expecting. But guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's video. I'll catch you all in the next one.